So like, I'm not a vegetarian, I'm not a hardcore environmentalist, but I mean what Ferg and his friends are doing, they've crowdfunded about another 16 acres to save it from quilted forestry, start planting native trees, and I was just so inspired by Fergal, except I wasn't doing half of that. I was in the dole, I didn't know what I was doing, but I decided, look, if I can just go and pick a bag of plastic in half an hour, like, I mean, I'm not saving the planet, but at least I'm doing something positive. So some other inspirations were Easky, another friend of mine through the surfing. He's here there with their surfboards, some marine litter, and her sister Becky Finn, who works for King Coast. Of course, our good Olivia Jones here from Strandhill, because when we did the 2014 Eco Adventure, of course Olivia was the one we made contact with, and she was very, very helpful in giving us the bags and the pickers and everything to get going. So that all kind of made me think what I can do. So in my surf school I have ocean warrior surf camp, so it's for under 16s during the summer, and what that is, just basically outdoor education based around the surfing, and it's just trying to change attitudes and behaviours towards water, bit of water safety, ocean awareness, you know, tide comes in, tide comes out, you've got to be careful, and what to do in an emergency, but also a little bit of fun, a bit of beach games and all that kind of stuff. But I thought it would be a really good idea to bring in clean coast activities, because not all the kids are pro surfers. Some kids get really, really tired, so some of them take a little bit of a rest day, on the final day, and I turn around to these kids and go, look, guys, you're surfers now, you come to the beach more often than other people, so you've got actually a special responsibility to take care of it. So I've also found, my friend Easky's, Dr. Easky Britton has spoken a lot of this, like, we're coastal guardian surfers, are kind of highly active coastal guardians, we come to the beach more often, we take more from other people. So if some people are coming maybe for one day in the year, they've come down for a picnic, they've left some stuff, maybe the tides would have come in, or some man from the council and come and collect it. Maybe they're not too aware, but we as people who go there, we've a bit more responsibility. And I spoke to my surfers on my camps with this, so you can see them all there having a great time, surfing and all that kind of stuff. They really, like, I always say that kids plus beach plus waves equals happy kids. So it's very easy for me to, on the final day, just to go, and you might get a few of the kids kind of grumbling and complaining, like, oh, I don't want to go and pick up all this kind of stuff. But once they get into it, it's like a treasure hunt, and you know, they might find a pair of old knickers or something, or someone found a fiver one time and they were delighted with that. So without fail, they've always really, really delighted. And I've actually even found it's sometimes a little bit more difficult to get the adults into it, whereas the kids can get it really, really straight away. You don't need a degree in science or physics to understand it. I've talked to the kids about the plastics breaking down, and about the fish eating the plastics, and we eat the fish, and you see their little minds working, and they just get it straight away, because maybe they don't have as much conditioning that people who are older have. And you know, I just thought it was a really, really, really good thing. It was kind of a bit of a leveler too, that all the kids could get involved, and I've had kids come back to me, they've done projects in school and all that kind of stuff. But suddenly I got an Ocean Hero Award for what I thought was just a simple idea that was really sorting me out for a day in my kids' camps, keeping them occupied. But all of a sudden I'm an environmentalist. So I just want to put your hand up here if you're an environmentalist. Yeah, well, I wouldn't have put my hand up a few years ago as well. So basically now I'm an environmentalist. I'm not a vegetarian. I don't live off the grid. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. But I do a little bit of beach cleans, so I want everyone to put up their hand again, and if you're an environmentalist, I think everyone here should put up their hand, because even to come to this talk and listen, maybe chat to your friends about it, that means, I know I'm not really saving the planet, but that was just a thing. So when I got my Ocean Hero Award, I was really, really delighted, really happy to promote my business, because I will say this as well, I usually just say this straight out, that I engage with Clean Coast, not just because it's good for the environment, but also because it's good for promoting my business. It's a really, really great way for me to promote my business, because as a business owner, I want my business to be associated with things that are positive, and I can't think of anything much more positive than Clean Coast. So that's why I think a lot of businesses now are getting involved in Coca-Cola, who, you know, that's great, because if you didn't have them, you wouldn't have the Clean Coast Awards. So I think it's a really good way to get businesses involved in what we're doing. So my job now is to promote Clean Coast. And why would you want to do that? It's free, it's easy to join, it's positive, it's social, and it's a bottom-up organisation. So there's no one dictating and saying what to do. At the very, very start, after the Eco Adventures, I was kind of like, so everyone's next beach clean, and you know, tell me what to do next, and da. And then I realised that I had all the gear. Olivia had empowered me, and I stopped. I knew when the beach cleans were then, and it started to kind of grow from that. And then, of course, when I see Paul, then it's kind of starts to take flight. So it's an easy thing to promote. So there's me promoting the hell out of it there on Strandhill Beach, with my friend Charlie, my neighbour Charlie, and Sinead McCoy from Tashka, and a good friend of mine, Keen Egan from Westlife, He's another avid surfer in Strandhill who came on board with Clean Coast a few years ago to help promote it, and got great promotion out of that. It was also another great promotion activity for my school when I started up. When the Riptide movement came to Strandhill for a surf, and also filmed as part of the Plastic Ocean documentaries. Has everyone seen that series? Anyone seen the Plastic Ocean? It's fantastic. It should be up on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's on King Coast. So Riptide Movement are really popular Irish band. I was a big fan as well. I was delighted for them to come and see me, but they watched a movie called The Plastic Ocean, which is a very, very heart-wrenching movie about the problem of ocean plastic. They decided to do something about it, and also this got their muse working, and they wrote a few songs for a new album. So these guys were clever as well. They were trying to promote themselves through being associated with Clean Coast, and it was a very mutually beneficial partnership, because Clean Coast got a lot of good promotion out of it. Riptide Movement got a lot of promotion out of it, and they produced a really wonderful series and raised an issue. And maybe now 3 more bands will do it this year, maybe 10 the next year, and so on. So change can happen very quickly, or as well as slowly. It can happen very quickly. So as I was promoting Clean Coast, more people started coming to me looking for surf lessons, but I would also combine it with beach cleans for certain people. So these are the Irish Doctors for the Environment. They came for a surf lesson, and of course they were only too happy to come in a beach clean. So this is something I can now offer to clients who are coming looking for social responsibility, sport, social and recreation, and I have all the equipment to facilitate that, and it's adding value to my business. So this is just a win-win-win situation. The only problem we're kind of having is sometimes with the beach a bit too clean, but that's actually the best problem to have. And I say to people, would it be great if all our beach cleans were just literally a walk up and down a clean beach, just patrolling it, just letting people know that there's a Coast Guard group there that really care about this. So we also had the Northwest Chartered Accountants. Maybe accountants get a bit of a bad rep for being a boring crowd, but they definitely weren't boring in this. They came on a lovely day, and there was a huge pile of them, and they had budget for this. They are going to plan another one shortly. So it's just starting to steamroll, and I mean, this isn't going to reduce the 40% of plastic use increase. It's not going to solve the microplastic problem. It's not going to make plastic disappear, but I mean, you have to look for small victories in this big battle, and I think this is definitely one of them. Paul just gave an excellent talk about what his group's up to, so I just want to mention them as well, because it gives me a chance to connect with other surf schools. This is Murph Surf School up in Tullen Beach in Donegal. So he's a great friend of mine, going back through the days as well, and we've had some really fun cleanups with them. So this is, again, Paul mentioned this as well, but in Tullahan, the surfers knew where to go. There's certain parts of the coast that act like sinks for plastic and for debris when the storms come in. So surfers are a good community for an organisation like Clean Coast to tap into, because we kind of know where the sinks are, and where maybe the best places to focus our efforts are. I mean, we're not ever going into the nitty-gritty and the microplastics. God knows what else is buried underneath it. But for me, the amount of plastic that's removed from the marine is a very, very small part of why I engage in Clean Coast activities. It's actually way more to do with the awareness and get people into the mode of charity. And I've often taken someone who mightn't be an environmentalist, who mightn't have heard of Clean Coast till about 20 minutes before they took up a picker and a bag in their hands. And sure, they collected a half bag or a full bag of rubbish, but I think the most beneficial thing was the hour or so, or the half an hour that they spent walking up and down, thinking about it, seeing the plastic and seeing this and that and other. And then when I have the kids at my ocean warrior camps, taking up packets of crisps, cans of Coke from the beach, there's no, but you can talk to a child or a young person all day and night, tell them what to do and what not to do, but they will just figure it themselves, and the next time hopefully that they have a can of Coke or a pack of crisps in their hand, they'll find it and put it in there. So and I think it was a really, really good idea doing the whale idea as well, because I mean, they did collect an awful amount, a big amount of rubbish, but doing the art and getting these amazing photos, congrats with Dara, it's a great way of getting the message out to as many people as possible. So with all the doom and gloom surrounding the environmental problems we're having, I think it's important to stay positive. I'm going to finish off this talk by inviting people to join the revolution that's happening, and I think the solutions are out there, and Siobhan or someone like that could correct me if I'm wrong. There's a lot of problems associated with plastic and our use of plastic since 1907, but there's tons of solutions out there. The solutions aren't the problem. I don't think they're very well delineated. Some of them are a bit more far-fetched than others, but it's just getting on board with the solutions. So in Ireland there's over 1,100 clean coast groups in Ireland. The awareness has already been raised about single-use plastic. The revolution has already started, so I think we should congratulate ourselves on that as well. There's more reduced or zero waste businesses opening up. I mean, Simply Green up in Ballyshannon is the first zero waste cafe in Ireland, and there's small victories happening. And sometimes with very, very big problems, we can get bogged down in enormity of the task. But I'm a big believer in the power of one and how small actions can cascade up and cause for big changes in society. And I know there's an ocean cleanup project, which their project remove 90% of ocean plastic. So there are huge amounts of active groups, not just Clean Coast, but all around the world. So I mean, just get involved. And the last thing we want to talk about is the recent storms. So I don't know if you all know, but basically we had Storm Kira 2 weekends ago. That was the big one. We've had a few storms since then, and it was probably the 9th, 10th when the storm was. But just on the Tuesday at 6:30 there was a huge high tide and huge, so the swell peaked and the tide peaked. It was a bit of a perfect storm, and you can see the sandwich here at Strandhill. If you can just see in the foreground in that picture, you see that concrete bunker that's up there, it's standing alone. That used to be manhole cover in the sand dunes, so you can see how far the sand has retreated back. We're actually down to the bedrock now of Strandhill Beach, so the sand has been removed that much. The sand dunes have gone back about 10 metres in 10 years. So Kira came in and took a big chunk out of the coast, and that was the perfect storm that occurred. It was a spring high tide of over 4 metres, an ocean swell of over 8 metres with storm force onshore winds. So the winds come in and they kind of create a storm surge, which is like when a ship comes in, big ship, there'll be a bow wave ahead of the ship. So the storm is like the ship and the storm surge is like the bow that's ahead of that. And then when the high tide comes and then the swell peaks on top of that, it can, you know, really cause a lot of damage. So this is some of the area down in Strandhill with the caravan park. You can see how the stones and all the debris and the waters come in. So we haven't seen that before. It's only getting worse, unfortunately. You can see this is the north end of Strandhill, of course, Classic Brone. The tide came in and left some foam there when the tide's going back out. And the high tide line is where a lot of this plastic has ended up. So sometimes in the summer, maybe towards the end of August, when I have my kids out in the beach cleanups, they're kind of going up and down, oh, there's no rubbish, and they couldn't find anything. I go, look, well, that's just, we were too successful, we've been doing too many beach cleans, and a great problem to have. But now during the winter storms kind of kindly enough bring in all that debris and usually leave up in the high tide line. And I've just done a few walks up Strandhill, and I've found that there's a huge amount of easy to get rubbish basically that's been left up by Kira and Dennis. So I basically want to invite people. I haven't set a day yet because every day has had bad weather, and as Paul mentioned, there's sometimes an issue. You don't want to bring people out in the rain, you don't want to bring them out in windy weather. You want people to have a nice time, and it's a social thing. You don't want them to break their back. Sometimes I see people trying to pull a rope from under a rock. I go, just leave it. That's not what the Clean Coast is about. Just do what you can in the time we have. So I'm going to organise a beach clean when the winds die. Next weekend's looking very stormy again. We're going to follow the high tide line. It's going to be very easy to maybe pick up a little bit extra rubbish. I'm going to clean up after Kira and Dennis. So if you see a little, we might just do a little Facebook post just the day before even, because you don't need to plan these things ahead now. And that's return the beach to normal and, you know, deal with the problems as they come. But that's all I've said. So thanks very much for listening, and I'll hand you back to Olivia.
Thanks, Jim.